Have you ever held on to something so tightly that it ended up hurting you? Maybe it was a rope, a heavy object, or even an emotion. The truth is, the harder we cling to something we're meant to let go of, the more it hurts us. And sometimes, what wounds us the most isn't what happened, but our inability to let it go. It might be the past holding you back, something someone said or did, or even a guilt you've been carrying. We think that holding on gives us control. But in reality, it only adds weight and keeps us from moving forward. Letting go isn't easy. It's challenging. But what if what God has for you is waiting on the other side of this letting go? What if, by releasing what's holding you back, you finally find the peace you've been searching for? Letting go. It sounds simple when we say it, but when we try to do it, it feels like something inside us resists, doesn't it? Holding on to what no longer serves us is painful, yet paradoxically, it brings a sense of security. After all, it's what we know. Even if it hurts, we often prefer the familiar over the uncertain. How many times do we hold on to the past, to something someone did or said, or even to the idea of how things should have been? It's like gripping a rope that's no longer tied to anything, yet it still cuts into our hands. With every moment we refuse to release it, the wound grows deeper. I remember a time in my life when I had to learn to let go. It wasn't easy. I was clinging to a situation that I knew deep down wasn't working. It was a friendship that had lasted many years, someone I cared deeply about, but it had become toxic. Each conversation left me feeling heavier and sadder. Still, I held on. I thought, maybe I should try harder. Maybe I'm giving up too soon. But the truth was, I was clinging to something that no longer existed. When I finally found the courage to let go, it was hard. I felt guilty and questioned whether I was doing the right thing. But slowly, I noticed something. The space that friendship had occupied, with all its pain and heaviness, began to be filled with peace. Not because it was easy, but because it was necessary. And don't get me wrong, I still love that person and wish them well. But sometimes, we have to recognize when life's seasons shift. Some people are meant to be part of our lives for a time, and then their path diverges from ours. Think about how many childhood or school friends you no longer keep in touch with. The Bible also shares stories of people who face the challenge of letting go. Take Abraham, for example. God asked him to leave his home, his family, and everything. He knew to follow a calling that seemed impossible to understand. Imagine what was going through his mind, leaving his house, his safety, and stepping into the unknown. It was an act of faith, but also an act of letting go. Abraham could have chosen to cling to what he knew. Instead, he trusted. He let go, and in doing so, made way for God's plan in his life. It wasn't easy, and I'm sure he had doubts, but he chose to trust what God had prepared over what he could control. So let me ask you, what are you holding on to that God may be asking you to release? Is it something from the past that's still keeping you stuck? Something someone did that you can't forgive? Or maybe it's an expectation that didn't turn out as you'd hoped. Often, when we hold on to what weighs us down, we think we're in control. But in truth, we're prolonging the pain, replaying memories, rehashing hurts, or trying to change what's beyond our reach doesn't resolve anything. It only deepens the hurt. I know letting go isn't easy. Fear creeps in. What if I let go and never find anything better? What if I can't move on? But here's the truth. Letting go doesn't mean losing. It means trusting. Trusting that God has something better prepared for you. Trusting that when you release what's weighing you down, you open yourself to the peace you've been longing for. Sometimes, we even hold on to false beliefs about ourselves. Thoughts like, I'm not good enough, or I'll never get through this. Letting go means releasing those lies, those inner voices that keep us stuck. I remember a conversation with a close friend. He had lost his job, and it consumed him. He kept thinking, if I had done things differently, this wouldn't have happened. He carried that weight every day. But one day, he said something that struck me. I realized I couldn't change what happened, but I could choose what to do next. He chose to let go. It wasn't immediate, but step by step, he found new opportunities and new paths. Sometimes, we think that letting go means losing a part of ourselves. But in reality, it creates space for something new. God never asks us to release something without purpose. He always has something greater, something better. Think of Abraham again. By leaving his home, he didn't lose. He gained the promise of a nation. And perhaps by letting go of what's holding you back, you too will discover a new promise, a new purpose. I know it's scary. I know it's hard. But I encourage you to reflect. What's keeping you stuck? What might God be asking you to let go of, not to take something away, but to give you something far greater? Letting go is an act of faith. It's trusting that, even when we don't understand, God is in control. And when we release what weighs us down, we find the peace and freedom we've been longing for. Letting go is hard. I know. Maybe you're thinking right now, but what if I let go? What if I never get over it? What if I never find something as good as what I'm leaving behind? Those questions, they're part of the process. And it's okay to feel them. But there's something I've learned over time. Letting go isn't giving up. Letting go is trusting. I know it's not simple, but I want to encourage you to take a small step. Think about something you've been holding on to. Maybe a feeling, a memory, or an expectation. It could be something from the past that hurts to remember, or even a relationship that no longer brings you peace. Now ask yourself, is this helping you, or is it holding you back? Is it strengthening you, or is it weighing you down? Letting go starts with a choice. It doesn't have to be a grand, dramatic change. It can be a simple but meaningful act. What if you started with a gesture? Write down everything that's been weighing on your heart. Put it all on paper, then offer it to God. You could even crumple the paper and throw it away as a symbol of releasing what's been holding you back. Or maybe you could have a conversation with God. Be honest. Tell him what's been hard to let go of. Share your pain, your doubts, and ask him for help in the process. Sometimes the first step to letting go is admitting that you've been holding on too tightly. And here's something I want you to remember. God sees you. He knows how hard it is to let go. But he also knows what's on the other side. He's ready to guide you, one step at a time. So trust him. Let go, and let him take care of what you can't control. Letting go isn't a sign of weakness. It's an act of courage. It's recognizing that some things can't be fixed by our own hands, but they can be placed into God's hands. When we hold on to something that hurts or weighs us down, we deprive ourselves of the blessings God has in store for us. Letting go isn't the end. It's the beginning of something new. Maybe you're thinking, but I don't know how to do this. What if I can't? And that's okay. Letting go doesn't happen all at once. It's a process, one step at a time. It's not about pretending the pain doesn't exist or ignoring what hurts. It's about trusting that God can transform what feels impossible. Think about how you'll feel when you release this burden. Imagine the freedom, the peace, the relief that will come. Letting go means making room for God to fill the space that's been occupied by pain, bitterness, or fear. It means giving him the opportunity to renew and transform your heart. So today, I want to invite you to reflect. What do you need to let go of? It could be a past you can't change, a guilt that God has already forgiven, or an expectation that's keeping you stuck. Talk to God about it. Ask him for his help and trust that he's ready to take what you can't carry anymore. As Jesus said, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Matthew 11:28. That rest is available to you. Trust. Let go. Allow God to renew your heart and guide you into a new journey of peace and purpose. You are not alone.